All right, so today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to be talking about some YouTube content that I've been consuming or that I started consuming while I was in Japan like a few weeks ago. Basically, so the content creator's name is Asmongold, I believe, is how to say it. But I've been watching a lot of his videos for like, I think 2 weeks straight now, ever since the presidential elections, basically. But I actually really enjoy his content. Like, I think the way he delivers it, the way he reacts to the content that he watches, like, it's fun, it's enjoyable. I definitely think that he himself is a little bit on the, like, he can definitely be strong. He can come off across as strong, but he seems very, very genuine. And that's why, for me, I enjoy his content a lot. And at times, he definitely can come across as a little bit aggressive. I think that comes with the whole strong, like coming off as strong aspect, I guess. But I think the number one thing that I enjoyed about his content was that he was always authentic and always like just saying what he thought, even if like later he would say that, oh, he was wrong about what he thought, he was wrong to have said what he said, stuff like that. I, in general, am very, very unfamiliar with the online space and online, like the YouTube community, the Twitch community, the streaming community. I don't know anything about any of that stuff. I used to watch a little bit of Philip DeFranco, like I think 2 or 3 years ago. I actually watched a few of his videos recently as well, but that was basically all I had in keeping up with like the whole, I guess, YouTube or online creator world, where sometimes they would talk about people where they do certain things. But I guess for this video, what I wanted to talk about was because I broke my whole zero entertainment thing where I'm not supposed to watch anything. I might as well try my best to gain something from it. And so basically this video is me saying like, what did I learn from watching a lot of Asmongold basically? What is the main takeaway? What is the main lesson? And I think there was a few things, but this one thing that really stood out to me that he said, or I don't know if he got it from somewhere, but he definitely said it in a way that I resonated with. And he said something along the lines of like, people, I think he was mainly talking about like legacy media people or certain people online. Like they try to come across as like, people try to look good, but they don't try to be good. I think it was something along the lines of that. It's about like how you look and how you appear online most of the time. It's about how like what you say, it's got to be correct. It's got to be right. You want to be politically correct. You want to make sure that you're saying it in a way where people will agree with you and where you don't have to worry about getting hate because maybe you made a mistake, maybe like you're coming across as a person that's like has a belief that the majority of people will disagree with because that's the way it should be. And I think that lesson from him, like watching him basically live that and be like, he's not necessarily trying to be a good person, but he's speaking his mind and he's not worried about like how he comes across to other people. He's not trying to be like politically correct. He's not trying to be like, he's just saying whatever he feels and thinks. And I think that is something I want to also do more of. It's something I feel like he talked about it in terms of like this, where there's a shift in sort of how people are perceiving things and expressing themselves in a way where it's like, okay, a lot of people have been told that they're not allowed to say certain things. They're not allowed to talk about certain things. They're not allowed to have an opinion that is different from other people's or the vast majority or the supposed vast majority opinion. And I think that is true. Like I think I've felt that in my life, especially living in California, where if you say something that is wrong in front of the wrong people, or not wrong people, or in front of a certain type of people, you will be reprimanded for it for sure. People will question you for sure, even if your opinion comes from like a place of good reason, even if it comes from a place of like experience or a place where you feel like no damage or no harm will actually come from it. It's just something you feel or something that you want to express, and you're welcome to have your mind changed about it. I think one thing that was a good example is, at least from my own experience, is when at first there was like a period of time where things got really things got a little different in terms of the voice acting industry. There was like a guy who stepped down from Simpsons where he was voicing a character that wasn't the same race as him. And I was talking about it with a friend. I was saying how like, yeah, I feel like it doesn't really matter what race you are in terms of voice acting, because you're voice acting and the character that you're voice acting for, like, it doesn't have to be the same race as you, as long as the creator or the casting director or director or whoever else is in charge of the project, the idea of this whole thing. Like, if the creator says that that's the voice I want for this character, does it really matter that the actor matches the race of the person that's animated? To me, I don't really think so. As long as they're coming across as like authentically whatever the creator wants. So if the creator is casting incorrectly in that sense, and like their version of it is bad and terrible, definitely criticize the creator for that. But I feel like that's my opinion in regards to like the voice acting thing. And I actually read a comment where someone had the exact same scenario or same like thought process behind that, and they were talking to their friends, but they were actually in the industry of voice acting. For me, I do it for fun sometimes, but I'm not really in that industry. But this person was saying how like, you know, they said what they said. They had a different argument from mine. They were saying how like actors are chameleons, and especially if for a voice actor where it's animation, like, you know, they get to exercise their acting chops and stuff like that. And, you know, he was just trying to have a conversation. He was just trying to like express his opinion, but like people shunned him. People like stopped talking to him and all that stuff. And it's crazy. Like, it's crazy to me that a person can have an opinion that's based around like just, you know, their experience, their logic, and people don't want to have that conversation with them because the majority opinion or the right opinion is to say that the voice actor has to be the same race as the person that's shown on screen. Like, I have no issues with that, like, for sure. If you want that, if the creator wants that, if the director wants that, sure. But like, it shouldn't be that this is right and you have to think this way and you can't give your other opinion. Otherwise it's crazy, it's bad, we're going to shut you out. I think that is a huge problem, I feel. And it's something I've learned from, like, it's something I've known for sure, but seeing someone like Asmon like talk the way he does and express himself the way he does, not fearing that, it's very liberating in a way. It's very freeing to see an example of that and be like, you know, if he's doing that, like, why can't I do that? Why can't more people do that? Just speak your mind, speak your opinions, and not feel afraid of others just like trying to cancel you or trying to just reprimand you or trying to say you're wrong and this is the right opinion, when all you want to do is express how you feel and what your opinion is. And in the end, if you feel like other people are making great arguments, other people are convincing you, then sure, but like, don't like change your mind. I feel like it's fine to change your mind about things, but don't like, I think it's terrible like that people can't just express their opinions in fear of losing friends or losing family members or losing people around them or having people like yell at them or say they're bad or terrible. That is something I've learned from this whole, I guess, binge watching of Asmongold in a way. So yeah, this is doing my best basically to learn something from the stuff that I'm watching and express it and internalize it by also talking to the camera. And just to exercise what I learned, the voice acting thing for sure is something that is an opinion that I think a lot of people will disagree with me on. But there's another thing that happened recently. And for me personally, I'm really, really not used to this. I'm not used to talking about like other people a lot. For me personally, I don't do that very often. Like, drama is not really my thing, at least online. And most of the time when I talk drama, it's mostly like my life experiences, and I tell my friends like what happened in my life. That's the drama. That's the most drama I ever talk about. Like, I do my best to avoid gossip for sure, because I feel like gossip is in general not a good thing for the person, because I know I felt how it's like being gossiped about. So because I felt that way, I'm like, okay, you know, you got to give people the benefit of the doubt whenever they're not here. So most of the time I try my best not to do it. Definitely have done it in my life before, but I try my best not to do it. But anyways, we're gonna continue. Basically, this is gossip in a way. So we're talking about a recent event that happened. It was a video that MKBHD, Marquez Brownlee, released recently. Something about like, I think it was GoPro or some action camera. I'm not sure if it was GoPro exactly, but in that video, basically he was speeding. I think it was like 96 miles per hour or something in a 35 miles per hour zone. And for sure, that's a terrible thing. Like, you should not do that. He apologized for it, but I still see people like in his comment sections, because I'm an avid watcher of MKBHD. Like every time I take a break, like for instance, during my Zero Entertainment Challenge, after the first 35 days of me watching nothing, after I took the 2-day break, his videos were stuff that I watched, basically. So I've kept up with him for a very long time, and I enjoy his content a lot. And a lot of people, when I read the comment sections, or just like in general, like the stuff I'm hearing online, it's like people are giving him a lot of flack for it, which sure, yeah, tell him it's wrong. It's not cool to do that, to speed in like to speed so badly in a zone that's like obviously not meant for that. But he apologized and he said it was stupid. And if you know his character, if you've watched him and you keep up with him, you know, like he means it and he's not going to do it again. I understand like not letting him off so easy and stuff like that. But in my opinion, like people are making it out to be way more a big a deal than it should be, because I guarantee everyone has sped in their lives. And I understand the counter argument is going to be like, okay, like, well, I definitely have not sped up to 95 miles per hour in a 35-mile zone, right? And that's a fair counter argument for sure. But I think like knowing his character and knowing him, not that I actually know him, but like knowing his character based on the videos I watch, he for sure would never have done that if he felt like any danger whatsoever. Like if he was to put anyone in any danger. Like I think he has enough common sense for that, and I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I'm sure nobody got hurt, otherwise it would have been reported. Otherwise he would have definitely never put that clip in the video in the first place. So it just feels like people are trying to get him. People are trying to like, you know, they see one mistake and they be like, yo, that's crazy. Like definitely like not gonna watch his stuff anymore, or like try to cancel him or something like that. It's very similar to this idea of not having a conversation, I guess. But I can understand why people would be disappointed or mad, and why they would say and want to speak up and saying it's wrong and everything. But I guess to me, it just feels like it's a little overblown considering all the crazy stuff that goes on and all the actual wrong things that happens. That's like other stuff that I've watched recently as well. Like honestly, most of this stuff I've gotten from either Asmongold or Philip DeFranco. That's how I spent a lot of my entertainment watching after I basically broke my streak with Zero Entertainment after the elections. So one of the things was also about like Diddy, basically, and I did not realize that stuff like that could ever happen. Like I guess I've been under a rock for a while, and after hearing about that controversy and all the crazy ass like disgusting shit that happened regarding that, I'm just like, holy shit. Like I really don't understand how people can be like that evil and that bad. The lesson from that, like learning about that, is just like, you know, understand how, or trying to understand how a person can be that bad, how basically like your worst animal instincts as a human being, like if you let them go out of control, if you let power get to your head, like that's stuff that can happen, I guess. That's still kind of a general broad statement, but it's something to watch out for, basically. Like, not that like anyone would actually ever do that, but like, or like, you know, normal people would never even have the capability to do that. But it's more so just like being aware of what could cause a person to get to that level or get there, and taking it as a lesson in your own life, and also being like, if those things can cause a person to do such atrocious acts, like in your own life, try to avoid them, or try your best to make sure that it's not a part of your life. Yeah, that's basically another lesson I've learned or tried to internalize as well. Because a side of me is like, wow, you know, I've never really cared much about entertainment gossip or entertainment stuff like this in general. I have no idea who the Kardashians are. Like, if you showed me a picture of them, I don't know. I just don't know. But yeah, like in general, I've never kept up with it. But I guess after watching the whole Asmon stuff and watching his content and Philip DeFranco, I'm just like, okay, like stuff like this happens. And I can see why people get into the whole like cycle of keeping up with entertainment gossip and what's going on, because like this is crazy shit. And you don't realize that, like, if you've lived under a rock like me, you're going to be like, holy shit, like, I want to learn a bit more. I want to understand a bit more of like, why the heck is this happening? Who's involved? Like, what's going on? But obviously now I'm just going to be like, nope, I'm done. Because for me, I need to get back on top of things. That's the prime reason why I'm done. Because I'm gonna get back on the Zero Entertainment Challenge starting from tomorrow. Gonna do another 30 days of just not watching anything. But also overall, it's like you kind of get into this slippery slope of like continuously watching those type of things and getting into like how crazy people can be. I can totally understand why like a lot of people like watching like true crime and just like hear about these insane instances of deviance, of like human acts that are atrocious that you just can't believe happened, you know? But overall, those were the lessons, I guess, from just a lot of entertainment stuff. That's my opinion about the MKBHD incident. Like, it's not really that big a deal. Like, nobody got hurt. I feel like he learned his lesson. He's been sort of reprimanded enough, and I just think overall he's a good person. And you know, he's a guy that likes cars. Obviously, he has a whole channel about that. So I'm assuming most people that like cars like going fast as well. And of course it's reckless, and of course it's stupid. Not trying to make excuses for him, but I just think the reaction to what he's done, like for sure, he should be reprimanded, but not to the level or extent that he is being at the moment. That's just my opinion. And I feel like normally I would never say stuff like that because I feel like most people would disagree with me and most people would be like, no, he definitely deserved it, blah, blah, blah. But I just feel like saying what I want to say. And that's sort of the lesson put into practice that I learned from Asmongold. Obviously, I'm not going to go all crazy with political views in general and stuff like that because, at least for me and my personal life, I have not really been involved in politics that often. I consider myself to be mostly politically neutral. If I were to pick a party, it would be independent. It would be in the middle. But yeah, that's basically it for this one. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.